Hey! Welcome back to the second version of Glamour title animation. I really hope you managed to reproduce all the previous titles so far. Let's jump in and start creating. This will be a rather short video. As I mentioned, this is a second version of the same title as in previous video, so I will use the same font Twinkle. First, I will set the scale at 150, and the letter spacing at 200. Let's add a rectangle from the Shapes menu. Reduce the opacity, to be able to see better while we do the settings. This rectangle I will need to create a mask for the title, so I will adjust its size to wrap the text, and I will rename it as a mask. Now, let's mask the text with the rectangle I just added. I chose to use a mask because the visual effect will be more captivating. First I will animate the mask, so I will add a custom animation, and choose scale. Again, I will drag the animation a little to the right, position the playhead before it to set the starting size of the mask. I'll go to the settings panel to unlock the scale values, and I will set the X scale at 0. Next, I will add a custom animation to the text as well, and for the text I will set opacity and text spacing. For the starting position, I will set a negative value for spacing, -600, and for opacity I will set 0. Moving the playhead over the custom animation, I will set the letter spacing at 200. And let's have a first preview. Now, let's add another rectangle. I will make this one orange. And to be able to see while I'm working on it, I will reduce the opacity. My intention here is to create the same typing cursors as in the previous version of the Glamour title. I center this little rectangle and move it 2 little steps to the left. Then, I will duplicate once to get the second cursor, and move it a little to the right to have them side by side. For more precision, I zoom in and I slightly adjust them edge by edge. Next, I will bring the opacity all the way up for both cursors. And because I want these 2 cursors to show up first, I will drag this text element a little to the right. And I go on and add a custom animation for the first orange cursor. I will set position. Now, the starting position is the actual position, so I will move the playhead over the animation, and I will drag the cursor to the left, just in front of the first letter. Same custom animation for the other cursor, and I'll move it to the right, right after the last letter. Now, let's expand the timeline, and adjust these animations perfectly one with another. I retract the timeline, and please observe that for those 2 cursors, I have the added animations aligned with the entering point of the text, and not with their own entering point. Let's have a preview. Moving on with animations, I will just duplicate reverse for both cursors and the text, and for the text mask as well. Then, I will move them to the right, at a distance of about half a second. Now, for the 2 cursors to exit the scene, I will add another custom animation. I will set scale and opacity. Just make sure you have the scale locked up, and then the values for the end point will be 0 for both scale and opacity. For the other cursor, I will also add a custom animation, and I will make the same settings. For this last animation, I believe I need to change the easing to power 4 for both. And one more thing, I will expand the timeline, and I'll make sure all the animations are aligned on the timeline, and I'll make them shorter. And this is the second version of Glamour title. I really would like to thank you for following up this mini-series, and I really hope it is a source of ideas how to create cool text motions in CreateStudio. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon to get notification for the next tutorial release. See you in the next video. Have fun creating.